Hi, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been afraid to go up and meet someone because you felt inferior or you felt inadequate or you were nervous or you didn't know what to say? I think everybody has at one time or another. I have learned a few very key skills and tactics, and I have tips for you on how to meet strangers. Would you like to know how to meet strangers? This applies and will help you whether you are in a job interview, whether you are in a date, new unknown situation, whether you're talking to a friend or someone you've just met, someone at church that you have never seen before walks through the door. This is one of the reasons that I've learned it because of my church experience where I wanted people to feel comfortable when they walked through the door of our church. Have you ever been a visitor at a new place, a new church perhaps? When I had been a Christian a long time and I had gone to churches where I was very well known, and then we moved and I experienced being the new person walking through the door of a church for the first time. That should be required of every single Christian because you have no idea what that feels like. Even for someone who, in my case, I'm extremely outgoing. I do not struggle making friends. I do not feel usually less than or inadequate. I don't usually have trouble with that. I am very easy to talk to, and I don't struggle with that. But I did when I was new to a church. So that was when I developed some tactics, and I realized how to make a new person feel comfortable. But this applies any time you're meeting a new person for the first time. I encourage you to write down, until you memorize them, a few basic questions to ask a person the first time you meet them. And then once you've gotten those down, figure out, write down a few questions to ask the person the second time or third time you are meeting them. You will never struggle again to meet people. So what are a few key questions to ask the first time you meet a person? These are what I would call public knowledge. They are questions that anybody can find out by Googling or online. Public knowledge questions. What's your name? Are you married? How many children do you have? How old are they? What are their names? If the children are there, I really recommend directing your question to them if they're old enough, asking them their name, asking them how old they are, asking them, what do you like to do? So, the adult person, where do you work? Name, married or single? Well, and, be a little cautious on that one. Yes, it is public knowledge, but if they are an older female and they're alone, you might not want to ask if they're single. You can, but I might not ask it the second question. What's your name? Are you, you might ask, are you here with your husband? But you might just ask, what do you do? Or, how did you hear about this church or this group if they're coming to a group? Name, where do you live? Are you married? How many kids do you have? Simple questions, and as they answer, there will be follow-up questions that you will be prompted to ask. If they answer they work in a certain field, oh, that's very interesting. How did you get into that field? Or, I am married and I have this many children. That's very interesting. How old are your children? Well, they are this, and this. If you know anything about the ages that they're dealing with, or they've just told you they have a large family, for instance, now you have follow-up questions about, you know they're very busy, whether they're at home, stay-at-home mom, or they are working outside the home. You know about their busyness a little bit. If you're watching, looking at their family and their children, you can tell a lot about the family right there. So those questions will be enough if somebody's walking into your church then to say, welcome, we're so glad to have you. And you might follow up with, in our church you can sit anywhere you want, and or here is a handout that shows, or a bulletin that shows how we do things here. Here is a packet of information for new visitors. Have something ready that you can give them that will make it easier. If you see a mom with a small baby, you can point them to where the nursing mothers, or where mothers can change their baby's diapers. Let them know. You can show them the bathrooms are right down that hall. They're right there and there. Give them basic information and let them know there's coffee available, or right after the service there'll be a fellowship time where we can talk more. I hope you are able to really enjoy the service and participate. There are just facts that you can give that will make them appreciate and get more out of your church and feel that is a friendly church. More next time.